Welcome, folks, to Crypto News Global. I'm your host, Nick Toka. On today's show, Bitcoin, XRP, and Solana bounce back after crypto market bloodbath past few days. Second largest bank in Spain to offer Bitcoin and Ethereum trading services, says the report. Also, Senate House lawmaker reintroduce Bitcoin Act legislation to accumulate 1 million Bitcoin. And Bitcoin and crypto about to be boosted by global money supply explosion, says former Goldman Sachs executive. All this and so much more on a fun green day in Bitcoin. Here we go, folks. Welcome, folks, to Crypto News Global. I'm your host, Nick Toka. Today is March 11th, 2025, and Bitcoin bouncing back after a few days of being in the red. Everything across the board is in the green today. After we hit about $76,500 yesterday, there was definitely support in the biddy, and the price has bounced despite all the crazy tariff talks. Let's get right into our market watch and Bitcoin technical analysis. We have Bitcoin up 4% at 82,468. Ethereum up 2%, 1897. Solana up 3.5%, 124 bucks. XRP up 8%, $2.20. Doge up 6.5%, 6.5 at 16 cents. Moving into the crypto bubbles, we'll see that 95% or so is in the green today. We have Kaz up 20%, Tia up 16%, Tau up 12%, Pepe up 12%, Jasmy 7%. Zooming out to the weekly, we'll see that most things are still about 90% in the red for the week. A lot of coins still down about 20% for the week, including Jasmy 22% down, Algorand down 20%, H-Bar down 21%, Tel 30%, Jasmy 22%, Doge 19%, Cardano 25%, Shiba 7.5%. And zooming out even further to the monthly, more reddish. Bonk down 40%, Hex down 45%, Pepe down 31%, Ondo down 35%, Doge down 32%, almost everything in the red. Let's refresh this to get the latest data. So we have Bitcoin sitting at a market cap of $1.632 trillion right now, Ethereum at $228 billion, XRP $127 billion, Solana $63 billion, Cardano $25.5 billion. Doge, 24 billion. Tron, 21 billion. And checking out our total market cap and dominance, we have a total market cap of 2.63 trillion with the biddy holding over 62%, 62.17% as it stands right now. Ethereum down even more, 8.69%. XRP, 4.85% of the total market cap. BNB coin, Binance coin, 3%. And all the others combined at about 8.5%. The Crypto Fear and Greed Index is currently sitting at a 24 in fear. Yesterday was a 20 in fear, and last week a 15 extreme fear. And we have approximately 1,130 days left until the next Bitcoin halving in 2028, with 162,618 blocks left to mine until that time. And as we know, the very last block is going to be mined in the year 2140. And there are 1,164,432 blocks left to mine until the year 2140, where the last Bitcoin is mined. Top assets by market cap globally, we have gold at 19.6%, Apple 3.3%, Gold at 19.6 trillion, not percent. Apple at 3.3 trillion. Microsoft 2.8 trillion. Nvidia 2.6 trillion. Amazon 2 trillion. Google 2 trillion. Silver 1.877 trillion. Saudi Aramco 1.696, and there's the biddy right under that at 1.640. And rounding out the top 10, we have Facebook at $1.534 trillion. You can currently get 1,213 Satoshis for one fiat US dollar. And speaking of the US fiat, they currently owe 36,584,696,000,000 in the national debt clock, and that equals to 107,031 per U.S. citizen, or $323,047 per taxpayer. So lots of coin owed across the board, as we see. But we definitely made a good move today, forward, up from the bottom, what I hope is the bottom, at about 76,500 for Bitcoin. And we see that Bitcoin, XRP, Solana bounce back after the crypto market bloodbath. Digital coins and tokens are starting to rebound Tuesday after getting hit hard by the twists and turns of President Trump's foreign policy alongside continued inflation fears. Major coins like Bitcoin, XRP, and Solana are now in the green over the past 24 hours, with Bitcoin's price now up nearly 5% in that span. According to CoinGecko, it's trading for 83,119 per coin as of this writing, and as of right now, it's 82,500. The biggest coin by market cap plunged below 77,000 on Monday on fears of possible U.S. recession, falling sharply alongside U.S. tech stocks and other cryptocurrencies. Ethereum, Solana both hit their lowest prices in more than a year on Monday as well, with crypto future liquidations topping 700 million. But us and my viewers and our friends, we all bought the dip, right? I definitely bought the dip. I bought the dip on Solana because I saw it was at a one-year low, and I definitely hit it. I don't really trust Ethereum, but I hit Solana for sure. Bitcoin still has a long way to go before it beats its January all-time high of nearly 109,000, though it's down by nearly 24% since setting the latest milestone. And as mentioned yesterday, in the 2016-2017 bull run, we saw a 30% dip, and then in about 4 or 5 days, and then it took us sideways and then to the moon, baby. So let's see if the same kind of thing happens this cycle. Elsewhere, XRP is up 6% over the last day and is trading hands for $2.20. Solana's price has rebounded further by 6.5% and is now trading over $127. Most of the top 20 coins, and by market cap, are also in the green, albeit by single digits. Broadly, the crypto market is up more than 2% over the past day. What's fueling the rebound? Mark Connors, chief investment strategist at Risk Dimensions, a New York-based Bitcoin investment strategy advisory, told Decrypt that the reasons behind today's upturn are difficult to pin down. I'm surprised, he said. This caught billionaire Bitcoiners by surprise. We thought the downtrend pressure on markets with the macroeconomic conditions would keep Bitcoin down. Uncertainty about tariffs, which would reduce investment. He added, there's something we're not seeing, whether it be the Texas Strategic Reserve that is apparently only a pen stroke away from being enacted, or the 21 million initiative by Strategy, or 21 billion initiative by Strategy, or the legislation being put forth by Cynthia Lummis, or the Genius Act. The S&P 500, Nasdaq, and Dow all finished the day slightly down again, but reversed bigger dips from earlier in the day. Bitcoin and other top cryptocurrencies have been trading like U.S. stocks of late. Both the stock and crypto markets are considered risk-on assets by traders and have been sensitive to President Trump's erratic announcements on tariffs. It's not that erratic. He's been talking about it for 6 months. But when it actually happens, I guess that's a different story. What we care about, I mean, in this story, they are saying we don't know what actually happened, but, going into the charts like we did yesterday, we saw that the head and shoulder pattern is now complete, and we hit that $76,500, which then brings us back in closure for this head and shoulders pattern. And we can take a quick peek at it again while we are talking about it so it's fresh in our minds. Let's get into that. And here we have what actually happened, our head and shoulders pattern. Let's make this nice and easy to read. Let's go to a 6-month chart so it's easier to check out. And here we have it. So we started about here, the head and shoulders pattern at 75, 76. There's 76.5, which is exactly where the price dipped to yesterday. And you see the dotted line here when we go to this point, 76.5, 76.5. Beginning of the head and shoulders, the end of the head and shoulders. It's like dandruff all over again. So we have the first shoulder, then the head portion, followed by a dip. So we really needed to close this in order to go into the next leg up for the biddy. So these guys are saying they don't know what's going on, but theoretically, this is what's going on. We've now closed this part of the cycle, which should then allow us to move forward into more super climbs, we hope. Let's get into our next story for the day. The second largest bank in Spain to offer Bitcoin and Ethereum trading services, report says. So this is great news. The banks, right? Not ETF either. The banks offering Bitcoin and Ethereum trading services. Spain's second largest bank is planning to roll out trading services for Bitcoin and Ethereum. Second largest bank. That's huge. In a new announcement, Banco Bilbao Vizcaya, Argentina, says it has obtained the necessary approvals from the country's security regulator, the National Securities Market Commission, to offer its customers trading services for the top 2 crypto assets by market cap. The services will roll out in phases in the coming months, says BBVA. The bank is set to launch a new service accessible to all its customers, enabling them to securely buy, sell, and manage Bitcoin and Ethereum transactions through its app. Initially, the service will be rolled out to a small group of users and gradually extended to all private customers in Spain over the coming months. This initiative builds on the bank's experience in Switzerland and Turkey, where similar services have been offered since 2021 and 2023, respectively. See, so in Switzerland, banking services have allowed their customers since 2021 to use the banks to buy and sell a biddy. BBVA also says Spain customers will have the ability to trade their crypto via the same app the bank's customers currently use for their traditional banking activities, which is awesome, right? Then that'll allow them very easily to trade, transfer within the same bank over to the biddy. So if they don't trust the fiat currency, they can almost immediately flip it over to the biddy. They might even be able to create some kind of automated transfer, which would then create a dollar cost average style investment scenario for them, which is awesome. BBVA also says Spain customers will have the ability to trade their crypto via the same app. Yep. This approach enables the bank to deliver an integrated and seamless experience across its digital channels while advocating or advancing its digitization strategy. A key distinguishing feature of the new service is that the BBVA will utilize its own cryptographic key custody platform, allowing the bank to maintain full control over safeguarding its customers' crypto assets without relying on third parties. Also another good thing. Says Gonzalo Rodriguez, head of BBVA's retail banking in Spain. We want to make it easier for our customers to invest in crypto assets with a simple, accessible offering available directly from their mobile phones in a fully digital manner. Our goal is to guide them as they explore this new segment of digital assets backed by the solvency and security assurances provided by a bank like BBVA. Sick. So this is definitely good news. You see, a few months ago, if news like this came out, people would be flipping out. Bitcoin would be pumping. There'd be people singing in the streets. But, you know, it's a bit of a different time right now. However, I strongly feel, you know, we'll call it 75% strongly feel that the Bitcoin is not nearly done its cycle peak. Not even close. People are crying out there as people are selling their biddies, and they're definitely jumping the gun as far as I'm concerned. So let's see what really happens. I feel like the people who are hodling are the ones in a great position. We even have the U.S. Senate House lawmakers reintroducing Bitcoin Act legislation to reaccumulate 1 million BTC. And this is what the naysayers were crying about the other day when Bitcoin introduced a strategic reserve. They said, oh, we're also expecting that they would have announced that they're buying, you know, 1 million Bitcoin, but nothing of that happened. They said instead they are not going to be using taxpayer money to buy Bitcoin, and they want to find some a way to get more Bitcoin without actually using taxpayer money to do it. But it looks like 5 Republican senators have co-sponsored Cynthia Lummis's Bitcoin Act, while Congressman Nick Bajik has introduced a companion bill in the House. Senator Cynthia Lummis reintroduced legislation that would authorize the U.S. government to acquire up to 1 million Bitcoin, formalizing President Trump's recent executive order establishing a federal Bitcoin reserve. The Bitcoin Act aims to integrate digital assets into U.S. financial strategy, requiring the Treasury Department to manage the acquisition and secure storage of Bitcoin. Lummis positioned the bill as a forward-looking measure for economic stability and innovation. She said in a statement, "By codifying this effort into law, we can ensure that our nation leverages digital assets to strengthen our financial future while maintaining its global leadership." Exactly what Trump's been saying as well. So it's going to be interesting if this thing passes, and if it does, well, there goes 1 million bitty off the supply chain. So going back to this supply shock, even BlackRock was talking about a big supply shock coming. Meanwhile, Congressman Nick Bajik has introduced a companion bill in the House. If enacted, the bill would require the federal government to purchase up to 1 million Bitcoin, currently valued at around $80 billion over 5 years. The initiative would be partially fueled by the Federal Reserve's net earning and adjustments to Treasury certificates based on the Fed's gold holdings, with updated valuations covering the cost. So there you go. They're not using taxpayer money here. They're talking about trading their gold for the biddy. The proposal also mandates the establishment of a decentralized network of secure Bitcoin storage facilities across the U.S., All Bitcoin acquired would be held for at least 20 years, with restrictions preventing any Treasury Secretary from selling more than 10% of the reserve in a 2-year span. Lummis's bill differs from the White House's stance on Bitcoin reserves. While Trump's executive order established a strategic reserve, senior officials have indicated a preference for indefinite holding rather than scheduled acquisitions. The administration has also emphasized that the importance of budget-neutral approaches, while Lummis's proposal outlines a broader purchasing framework. The introduction of, let's read that statement again there, that last sentence. The administration has also emphasized the importance of budget-neutral approaches, while Lummis's proposal outlines a broader purchasing framework. The introduction of this legislation follows increased political backing for crypto initiatives. Notably, pro-crypto advocacy groups played a key role in the electoral defeat of Senator Sherrod Brown, an outspoken critic of the industry. These developments could shape the bill's legislative trajectory, though its passage remains uncertain. If passed, the Bitcoin Act would mark a significant shift in the U.S. monetary policy, positioning Bitcoin as a formal reserve asset and reinforcing the country's role in the digital asset economy. So let's just see if that passes. Wouldn't that be something? They would start buying the biddy right away. And it seems like they're finding some creative ways to obtain more biddy in a budget-neutral method, which is exactly what Trump's been calling for. So there's also another bullish tenet for the biddy, and that would be the global money supply explosion. I talked about China yesterday, whose bond rates are down to 1%, and they've got no more room. They can't get any lower. So what are they going to have to do to raise money? They're going to have to start printing it so they can pay off their debt. So Bitcoin and crypto about to be boosted by a global money supply explosion. Former Goldman Sachs executive says. Real Vision CEO and former Goldman Sachs executive Raoul Pal believes increasing global liquidity will soon send Bitcoin and other digital assets soaring to a new leg up. Powell tells his 1.1 million followers on the social media platform X that a historical relationship between Bitcoin and the global money supply metric suggests that the top digital asset by market cap is gearing up for a massive breakout. This too shall pass. Crypto is still feeling the tightening in liquidity from the stronger dollar and higher rates in quarter four. That is almost done, and financial conditions are easing fast, and M2 is headed back to new highs. This is just a regular correction. Yep, exactly what I've been saying. Powell believes Bitcoin is repeating a similar 2017 price pattern correlated with the M2 metric when President Donald Trump came into office for his first term. Bitcoin had a steep correction in 2017, but then took off in a series of rallies. Yeah, so here we go. We have the projection here, the 10-week lead. We had the exact same correction in 27 caused by the same reaction to Trump policies, higher dollar and higher rates, which then reserved. So here we've got 2016, 2017, and the price pretty much flew from there. So they're looking at the exact same timeline here in the red. And at that point, the price of the biddy was at $68,000. Powell also believes Bitcoin will start trading higher within a logarithmic regression channel, a form of technical analysis that aims to show the approximate highs and lows of an asset's long-term trend. Over time, we just keep climbing the log regression channels. Whether we stay at the main red or climb above it in another standard deviation or two remains to be seen as the cycle develops. So regardless, we're seeing that there's definitely an upward trend. If we look at the overall trending chart from 2013 until now, I mean, things aren't slowing down. As I've said many times, stocks, Bitcoin, everything goes up and down, one day up, one day down. But over the long term, as we see in this chart, since 2013, we definitely just keep going up and up and up and up and up. This not 45-degree trajectory, but 20-something degree trajectory, which is pretty consistent. So shown here in this chart, very consistently going up over the years. Sure, it's going to go up and down and up and down. And as we see, if we look into the, daily charts, if we go back to the trading view, we'll see, very easily, if we flip into a, 1 month, we're getting major up and down, up and down, up and down, right? But when you zoom out over the years, we're pretty much constantly going up. So if we just check this out, right, at this kind of 20-some-odd% trajectory, and I expect that that's going to continue for many years to come. Let's hope we all make some good coin and we all take advantage of this and we trust the Bitcoin and we hodl. The smart money's buying, the smart money's hodling. So generally, if you follow the whales and follow the smart money, you're also going to make some good coin. There is lots of money out there, guys. There's approximately $900 trillion in assets worldwide. So get your cut. There's lots of money out there. It's abundant. It's everywhere. It's time that's scarce. So spend your time wisely. If you ask a billionaire on his deathbed what they want the most, they've had all the money. They've had yachts, Ferraris, boats, whatever you want. And they're on their deathbed and you ask them, what did you want more? What would they say? I wish I had more time. Time on this earth, because we are human, it's very scarce. And if you look, in the history of humanity, we're talking, 100,000 years, potentially, that's just a blip. And our lifetime, we'll say 100 years if we're lucky, is a blip in the, 3 billion year old earth. So use your time wisely. Lots of money out there. There's lots of money to be made. Spend less money than what you earn. Start saving today. It's important. If you're in your teens or early 20s, start saving now, and hopefully you can retire when you're 40 or 45 to enjoy the rare short time everyone has here on Earth, instead of waiting until you're 65. And I see people nowadays still working well into their 60s, some people well into their 70s, just to afford a basic lifestyle here. So start saving. What happens with young people is they think, oh, saving and investing, that's for old people. No, saving and investing is for young people more than anything. When you're old, that's when you put things in to more static investments, bonds, money market funds, cash. This is when you're actually going to use your money. So this is when you're kind of taking your money out of the market. When you're young, you've got 20, 30 years to allow yourself some huge risk. And the higher the risk, often, the higher the reward. So do yourself a favor and get yourself some investments. Learn some financial literacy. Don't go spending like a junkie out there and throwing all your money away and then not being able to afford the basics. What you're trying to do is save so you can retire early, period. If you've got a great idea, start today with your great idea. Don't wait for tomorrow. Even if you're not ready, start today and things will slowly come together and your great idea will come to fruition, and you won't have that guilt holding over your head saying, oh, my idea is so good, but I didn't do anything. It's better to try and fail than to not try at all. Folks, I'm planning to have between 500 and 1,000 subscribers by the end of this year, and I would love it if you join me on this journey by hitting the subscribe button. If you enjoy the stream, please share, like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you on the next stream. Folks, thank you so much for joining.